Hey everybody, what's up? I just got back from the bad times at the El Royale, which stars Dakota Johnson, John Hamm, Lewis Pullman, Jeff Bridges, Kaylee Spaney, Cynthia Erivo, and Chris Hemsworth. Directed by Cabin in the Woods director Drew Goddard, El Royale is the story of 7 strangers, each with a secret to bury, seeking refuge from their traumatic past, which all collide one fateful evening on Lake Tahoe's El Royale, a gimmick hotel on the border of California and Nevada. Once a blooming destination for celebs and politicians in its heyday of the 60s, the Royale is now a rundown hotel with thin walls, two-way mirrors, and of course, a disturbing past. So, if you're like me, you're going to go into bad times at the El Royale thinking it's going to be one way. Then you're going to leave finding it went a completely different route than advertised, which is not a bad thing. I would say this movie is probably not for everybody. The dialogue and the interactions between characters during the film as they break down each one's story, as they unweave the tangled web of secrets of each and every character is, well, something I can only describe to you as engaging. Even though I feel it necessary to point out, the dialogue at times can be very convoluted and downright confusing, and will command your full attention to be present. It seems to have been a calculated move by Goddard to keep you guessing throughout the entirety of this film, which is what a good mystery story does. When you learn who had done it in the first act, it kind of defies the point. The movie slowly, and I mean slowly. This is a very long, slow burn. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, it feels more like 3 hours, causing me at times to be like, is this it? I hope this is really it. And then it's not. So like I said, it slowly untwines this group of odd people throughout the entire film. Then at some point it throws in Chris Hemsworth as a cult leader who, I have to say, does an excellent job, like everyone else in this cast, proving again in this movie, like he did in 12 Strong, that his range as an actor continues to grow, and he's more than just, well, a hammer-wielding superhero. But when his character shows up, it only, to me, seems to further convolute the plot even more, taking us down more paths that lead to more doors that will eventually lead to a creepy voyeur room. But don't expect to learn everything there is to know about the El Royale, or all the characters in it. If there's one thing I can really gripe about, which is the same reason I feel this is going to be a real hit or miss with audiences, much like the recent movie Hotel Artemis with Jodie Foster, a lot of the characters in this movie never get a cohesive ending. We never find out what we wanted to find out and are left with an open door. Best advice I can give while watching this film is try not to get too invested or attached to any one character. To try to look at the group as a whole, unless you want to be really disappointed when the payoff comes. Because if you get too attached to, say, character A may not get a payoff at the end, say like character B does. It's the only way I can put it into words without spoiling the whole plot of this movie. And this is not a movie I want to spoil for you due to its nature as a mystery story. It's kind of like a big game of Clue. There's a few breakout roles here too, I also feel the need to mention. Here giving us some new faces to look out for on the horizon. One in particular who has star power written all over is Cynthia Erivo, who carries most of the weight of this film surely on her shoulders and her shoulders alone. As you learn more about her layers and her dimensions, you could say if there were a hero or a character you could really get behind or root for in this movie, Erivo would be that one. Erivo has some of the most engaging scenes and steals every scene that she's in, even from the most veteran of actors such as Jeff Bridges, who, don't get me wrong, he is also amazing in his role as the bank-robbing preacher, Father Daniel Flynn. Really, the whole cast was exceptional. Dakota Johnson, John Hamm, Kaylee Spaney, all give outstanding performances. Bill Pullman's son, Lewis Pullman, also surprisingly to me, gives one of the more enthralling performances of this film, as a nervous, out-of-control young concierge Miles, who has his own dark secrets which are boiling over, while at the same time he must keep an eye on all the hotel's guests on the edge of a nervous breakdown. I'm not sure if there's any other cast out there that could have pulled this movie off the way that they did. Best way to describe this movie is as a very well acted, executed, and brilliantly shot movie. A cinematography that I can only describe to you as astounding. I'm not a pro, so I'm not going to go through shot by shot. There is one scene in particular with Erivo performing on stage that just looks really good. On a level of sheer movie making, I would have to give this movie extremely high marks. About right here. It's easily an A or an A+. On a level of storytelling though, it's about right here. But understanding of that story, that's for you to figure out on your own. For some it'll be higher and for some it'll be lower. But for me, it all seemed to just average out. It's a pretty solid, convoluted in a good way if that makes any sense to you at all. I'm going to go ahead and give Bad Times at El Royale a B+. As always, thanks for checking out my review of the Bad Times at El Royale. If you have anything to add, go ahead and comment below and let me know. And don't forget, if you want to be part of the adventure, hit that subscribe button. It's right there. Do that and join the quest.